What's up, everybody? I decided to hop on here to record episode 243. So if you're watching this live on YouTube or on the T, got to hit a couple of buttons here. Got to record things in a few places. And here we go. Hello and welcome to the Entrepreneurial Musician, a coaching service, podcast, and blog preparing today's musicians for tomorrow's realities. This is TEM243 titled Plan on Your Plan Changing. Is your music kicking ass? Personalized plan to level up the skills needed to start crushing the business side of music. Visit temcoaching.com to take control of your career today. And as always, thank you to Park trombone, euphonium, and tuba, including the Andrew Hitz Artist Model Tuba Mouthpiece. You can find out more at parkermouthpieces.com. To 250 episodes. That's pretty awesome. Thank you to everybody who has supported. That you're supposed to say, but I really do mean it. I would not be doing this if there was no audience. Whether you've been listening for a week or for, what is it now? 6, 7, it's enough years. It's just like my age. I'm like, am I 40, 46? I'm 46. I have to think about it. TEM 243 titled Plan on Your Plan Changing. I have gotten much better recently about batching work, which is something that I'm actually doing a TEM episode on very soon. Batching similar kinds of work together allows me to get into a rhythm and a mindset. And I'll be honest, I haven't been that good at it until recently, but I've got some momentum on that front and I hope to continue it. Anyways, this weekend I was batching the finding of quotes. An interview. And while it's not hard to find a quote for an episode, it certainly is easier to find a whole bunch at once. And during that process, I found a quote that seemed like it should be its own short episode. It is from Simon Sinek. Always to plan. If you just you need a plan. Without a doubt, you need a website. Or what you play, at least in the eyes of the vast majority of the people who are hiring musicians for a wedding. And note, they are the only ones whose opinion matters, just for the record. You need some testimonials. This is an industry where the prospective buyer needs to be sure that nothing is going to go wrong. And most people are not going to want to be the first person who ever hires you for a wedding because it's really important to a lot of people. And testimonials means that you may need to do a few weddings for no compensation. It might not mean this, but that's certainly a way. About how to proceed with this business. But guess what? Your plan will change. You will make a deal with a photographer that falls through, or the photos aren't as good as you thought they were going to be. You will, which means you may need to charge more next time to justify the time spent. One quote might resonate as social proof with your potential customers much more than a you prominently display the first quote on your sales page. And then when things aren't going that well, you then maybe change it to the other one. And then you see a jump in engagement and sales. And that data may lead you to realize that your potential customers are valuing something you didn't expect, which might fundamentally change what you offer or at least how you offer it. The point is, it's really good to come in with a plan and to execute that plan, but there is a 100% once you get going. That is why Simon Sinek's quote is so spot on. You need to plan for spending time. Highlights one of the really big problems with school. Apologies, I've said this so many times before, but never again will you be given something at the beginning of a project, any kind of project, that even remotely resembles a syllabus. Those of us who teach classes must follow the plan. The potential to get in trouble or even fired. So as a student, you get a plan for each class that essentially cannot and does not change. I'm oversimplifying, but it can. Recording an album works. That's not how being married works. That's not how being a parent works. It's not how hosting a music business podcast works. Paid to learn how to do it through things like coachings or courses or things like there's going to be a learning curve here, and schools are starting to like things and have the game change in the middle, and there's almost none where you have to do that regularly throughout your time. And you have to be patient with yourself. If any of us picked up a brand new to us instrument, we would be very patient with ourselves when 1 week in we still sounded like crap on the clarinet if you're a guitar player, or playing the timpani if you're a tubist. But coming up with a plan while also being ready to tear up that entire plan once feedback starts coming in, it's just like learning a new instrument if you've never done it before, or if you haven't done it much, or if you've never been taught how to do it. Do it, I promise you, you can do it. You were already thinking that. And finally, this week's quote comes from author Brené Brown. Quote, I can't be paralyzed anymore by the critics. My new mantra is, if you're not in the arena getting your ass kicked on occasion, then I'm not interested in your feedback. You don't get to sit in the cheap seats, also not in the arena. The vast majority of people who would say, or who would reply to a tweet that someone tweeted about a blog post, but negatively and saying that it's not a good blog post. Those people are not making anything themselves, and if they are, they're almost never sharing it. And this is not because there's no reason to dislike a Brass Junkies interview. We give people lots of legitimate reasons for doing that. It's because those of us who make things and share them with the world know how hard it is to do. Keep this in mind when people criticize us. Personally, if I don't like your, say, interviewing style, I'm going to guess that it wasn't intended for me in the first place. And that's why I would never downvote a YouTube video. The way to get a great sound on a guitar is to have as much tension in your arm as possible. Not that I'm policing guitar videos, but never see it again. The bottom line is you don't need to listen to anyone who isn't in the arena themselves. Great advice from Brené Brown. Thank you to everyone for listening, subscribing, leaving a rating and a review on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get TEM, and simply for your attention, the most valuable commodity any of us have to give. TEM is produced by myself, Andrew Hitz, and is a part of the Pedal Note Media Podcast Network. The theme music and me. For show notes, the TEM blog, and to learn more about TEM coaching, please visit our website, tem.fm. You can also find us on That's going to do it for another episode of The Entrepreneurial Musician. All right. Well, thank you to all of you who joined me for that. And yeah, I appreciate it very much. This is going to go up live, probably going to go up live. That's not how episodes at this point, but I'm still trying to get the verbiage correct. This is going to go up either tomorrow or Sunday because my wife is out of town, so I am on solo dad duty. Pray for me if